Hello, my name is Husam Chekfa. This is my Lab 2 demonstration for ECE 568 Lab 2 in spring 2026. So I guess I'll go through real quick the my README file right here. There we go. My README file, and I'll go through the code, and I'll also go through the showing off the connections, of course. This is my README file. I'm doing the demo link right and the demo video right now. And these are my components, my ESP, of course, my LED, and my potentiometers. So I have everything listed exactly where it goes. When it comes to my actual breadboard, here's my computer connected via USB to the ESP32. I have connections, of course, for the ESP as well as for the potentiometer and the LED for positive and negative. So it'll be 3 volts and 0 volts. The A1 GPIO pin for A1 is connected to the 0 wire through to a 150 ohm resistor, and that is connected subsequently to the LED, and then that's connected, of course, to ground. The potentiometer is connected to 3 volts and ground, and then, of course, the middle is connected to the A2. It's called A2 GPIO pin, and all these GPIO pins, which I've mentioned inside the code in comments, I found them via the Adafruit, the GitHub Adafruit official documentation, as well as different MicroPython documentation, like official MicroPython forums and documentation websites, which I have all of them linked, like for example here, right? So it's a nice resource that's available online. All right, so as real quick, I'll just go over through the code and then I'll actually demonstrate it. If you want, you can skip ahead, but I'll just go over the code real quick. So here's, of course, my imports. I have a lot of comments and a lot of testing and just showing like where I got what. But yeah, so this is, of course, just the regular input for the very initialization, right, for the time info. Then I have, of course, I call the time info function right here so that the user can actually enter the time information, of course, and then let's see what else is there. I'm setting up the potentiometer. As I mentioned, this is all from the official documentation. I basically set it up with that, and then what else? LED. Part of this is very similar and even copy pasted from my lab 1 because there was like some similarity, like for the switch press, the LED. There was some, not exactly 1-to-1, but there was a lot of similarity. I set up different timers, which I'll show below. For example, the printing, the potentiometer, and the debouncing. Yeah, printing time is just your regular Python output in format. It's just a lot of trial and error just to make it look correct, but it ended up looking fine, which I'll show later on. And then, of course, reading the potentiometer, that's based off the timer. The button press, same thing, and the debouncing of the button. Here are my my timers, and I have, like, of course, it triggers, the button triggers, and so on. I have this as a while true. I considered using a sleep, but I wasn't sure if that was better, but this works fine. So anyways, I'll go ahead and show off the code, like actual running the code. So when I run the code, it'll give me here. So I'm doing this right now on March 8th, 4:39 p.m. So go ahead and do that for March 8th. Sunday, and then what else? Enter hour 16:39, say 20 and 20. Okay, so immediately my LED starts. By the way, I'll show the output later on once it starts outputting. Anyway, so as required from the the lab document, immediately after I finish inputting the code, sorry, the time information, immediately this starts blinking. And as required, if I were to change the potentiometer at all, it doesn't change at all, right? There's no, as you can see, I am switching, I am rotating it, but nothing's happening, which is as required, right? As you can see here inside the documentation. I mean, you know the documentation, but I'm just showing it over here. Anyway, so once I, first of all, do the first press, now it becomes either for frequency or for the duty cycle, right? So for the first one, it's frequency. So as you can see right now, when I do this, the frequency goes down to low. It's about like 1 or 2, for example, and then this goes all the way up to here. It's pretty much on the entire time, right? So it's a very high frequency, so you can't really even tell that it's going off at all. Turning off at all with the naked eye. Then the next time I press it, it becomes the duty cycle, right? So now when do this, as you can see, the intensity is going a lot lower, as is mentioned inside the documentation for the lab. And when I rotate it all the way down, it's very, very dim while maintaining the frequency, right? Whereas this is very very high, right? So right. Then for the third time, I press the button. Again, see, as you can see, the intensity is not changing, right? But the frequency is changing, right? And again, for the fourth time, press it again, right? Frequency is constant, but the duty cycle is changing as well as the intensity, right? So the duty cycle and the intensity are coupled together. And yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. I think I showed off the code. I showed the my README file. This is my video, and this is my breadboard. Oh yeah, I have one more thing. Oops, I just remembered that. Right here, let me pull it up. Yeah, there we go. I'll also let it print out one more time afterwards. So right, you can remember from earlier in the video, I said it's 4:39 p.m. right, 16:39, 20 seconds and 20. So it kept printing subsequently, right? Right here. So there we go. Of course, the milliseconds is not going to be perfect, which is mentioned in the documentation that it's of course microseconds is going to be a lot less accurate. Oh, it just printed out right now. But it's even the microsecond is pretty accurate. It's just not perfect, which is fine. I think the document only required anyways up to seconds. Anyway, so for here, it's going to be started off at 16:39 and 20 seconds. It went to 50 seconds, then it went to 40:20, 40:50, 41:20, 41:50, and it just printed right now, as you saw, 42:20. So that works as well. I believe that is everything though now. Yeah, I use a lot of code. Maybe too much code, I'm not sure. Most of it is comments, honestly. But a lot of trial and error, and there's a lot of bugs that I ran into with the function. So I had a lot of like print statements to get that to work, and I just let them in there. I just commented them out. Yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.